Health Coach. So today we're talking about accountability, what it actually means in health coaching, and I'm going to give you a hint, it is not about being the food police. So a lot of new coaches wonder, how do I hold my clients accountable? But here's the thing, your clients actually hold themselves accountable. Your job is to help them create a plan that works and support them as they follow through. In today's tutorial, we're going to cover 4 aspects of accountability. Why accountability gets a bad rap and why it's actually a good thing. Number 2, how clients will make sure they do their action steps. Number 3 is how they're going to track their progress. And then number 4, we're going to talk about what happens in between our coaching sessions. So let's dive in. So that first part is about reframing accountability, because accountability is not a punishment. The word accountability doesn't always sound like fun. So some people hear it and think maybe of a strict teacher, a performance review at work, or maybe things like getting a speeding ticket. There's no discussion, there's no flexibility, it's just a consequence. Well, this kind of accountability really feels strict and punitive and external, like there's somebody else enforcing the rules. But accountability in health coaching isn't about guilt or punishment. It's a really supportive tool that's going to help your clients reach their goals. So most clients actually want accountability because they know without it, their goals likely won't happen. Because in general, most of us really aren't all that self-motivated. And so accountability is what turns that I want to do it into I did it. So think of it like this. If a client could reach their goals completely on their own, they would have likely done it by now, and they wouldn't need a coach. And so that's why accountability is really one of the most valuable things that we can offer as health coaches. Because like I said, most of us aren't all that self-motivated. We need that external accountability to really stick to what we say we want to do. So accountability isn't about checking up on our clients and having consequences if they don't do what they say they'll do. It's about helping them build their own accountability systems so that they can succeed. So let's talk a little bit about how they can do that. So how do we support our clients in making sure that they do their action steps? So let's say your client sets a SMART goal. Maybe the goal is to walk for 20 minutes after dinner on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Great, the goal is clear, but now comes the real question, how will they make sure it actually happens? So this is where self-accountability comes in. How will your client hold themselves accountable to this goal? In other words, what steps are they going to take to remind themselves and actually follow through? So here are a few ways they might hold themselves accountable to this goal. Maybe they set a phone reminder, right? A simple alarm that says, time for your walk. Maybe they're going to write it in their calendar. Having that scheduled in as an appointment can be really helpful. Or maybe they're going to ask for some support. Maybe their spouse is going to remind them. Maybe they have a walking buddy who's going to go with them. Maybe they're going to put a sticky note on the fridge, so when they're packing up dinner, the dinner leftovers, they see that reminder to go for their walk. Or maybe they're going to use something like a trigger. Maybe they're going to put their walking shoes by the door as a visual cue. Or maybe they're going to get their walking clothes on before supper. So the key to setting these accountability measures is letting your client decide what is going to work best for them. You're not going to give them all these ideas or tell them how to be accountable. So some people love structured reminders. Others prefer accountability from a friend or a partner. Some people are going to love technology and apps, while others really are old school and like pen and paper. Your role is really going to help them choose a system that feels most natural and doable for them. We don't want this to be hard. So part 3 then is all about how will your client track their progress. So your client is back in their life, they're implementing their action steps, they're going for their walks. So now they need to understand how they're making that progress, or if they are or not. You know, they need that way to track what they're doing. And no, this doesn't have to mean a fancy app or a spreadsheet, unless that's their thing. Tracking really should feel simple and natural. So here are a few ways that your client might track and self-monitor their progress. Maybe they're going to do it in a journal, maybe writing down what they did and how they felt. Maybe they are going to use one of those habit tracking apps. Great for clients who love tech, and there are many options to choose from. Like I mentioned, old school pen and paper. Maybe it's just a check mark in a calendar or a checklist in their journal. Maybe they're going to give themselves a gold star, or they're going to cross off days of the week that they do it. And of course, at the next session, they're going to have that check-in with you. You're going to review and monitor their progress, celebrate their success, and discuss those learnings. So the final part, part 4, is about what happens in between sessions. So let's be really clear about this. It is not your job as their coach to check in on your client in between sessions, to keep tabs on them, or to make sure they do their action steps. Health coaching is about empowerment, right? Your client is responsible for what happens in between the sessions. You do all the work in the session, helping them set up that smart and bulletproof plan. And so you're going to do everything you can in the session to really set them up for success. What they do back in their life is up to them. But I see a lot of new health coaches who really want to jump in and do all the work for their clients. But that is not empowering. So your role is to help them make a plan, support them in setting up their own accountability system, and then checking in with them during the next session to explore what worked, what didn't work, and what they want to adjust. You do not need to text them reminders, send emails if they did their action steps, or to chase them down if they don't follow through. Those are not your responsibility. But if your client asks you to text them to make sure they do their walks, for example, you could say something like, well, how are you going to check in with yourself, right? What will help you stay on track? And then finally, you can agree that maybe they send you a quick text after they've done their walk. It's their responsibility, not yours. And this is really not going to be a long texting session. You're just going to give them a quick thumbs up that great job, they did it. So when they come back to the next session, you're going to do that accountability check-in at the start of the session. And you're going to ask things like, how did it go, right? What worked well? What were some challenges or obstacles? What did you learn through this whole process? And of course, celebrating their successes and wins. This is really going to keep the responsibility where it belongs on your client. So here's the takeaway for today. Accountability isn't about pressure or guilt. It's about support and clarity. It's actually a gift, not a burden. Most people really struggle to stay consistent on their own. Like we said earlier, if they could have done it on their own by now, they probably would have. That's why coaching is so powerful. You're helping your clients create a system of accountability, and that's really one of the biggest ways you can add value. And so remember, your clients hold themselves accountable, you just help them set it up. Your job is not to check in between sessions. Your follow-up is going to happen in the next session. And then when accountability is done right, it really feels like support and not pressure. And that's what real accountability looks like in health coaching. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please hit like and subscribe for more health coaching tips. And please let me know in the comments, what is your favorite way to help your clients stay accountable? Thanks so much for tuning in today. See you on the next video. Bye for now.